You're watching the FirearmsChannel.com.
Hi, I'm Max Martin for the FirearmsChannel.com here inside the Phoenix Convention Center for the 12th Annual Phoenix ComicCon, and with me is Gary Harper. Gary is a military historian and a weapons expert. Gary, how you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Gary, what is this Gatling gun all about? Tell me about it.
Well, this is an 1874 Gatling gun on a U.S. carriage. This would have been the model that Custer left behind. We've been using this gun for various television, motion picture, live performances, educational stuff now since 1991.
Now, speaking of live performances, this has a connection to royalty in England. Tell me about that.
Oh, yes. The Gordon Highlanders, the last trooping of the colors before the regiment was disbanded. We have a unit of Gordon Highlanders, reenactment unit. We took this gun to Scotland and actually performed for Prince Charles. He stood about 12 feet away from this thing while I shot off about 400 rounds of ammunition out of it.
What do you think about that?
He was pretty impressed. He ordered a couple of pith helmets. I got a nice letter from him from St. James Palace. It was quite heady experience.
Now, Gary, a lot of people know you from movies and film productions, that type of thing. Tell me about some of the movies you've been involved in and consulted for.
Well, let's see. The very first movie I was involved in was back in the 70s. That was Twilight's Last Gleaming with Richard Widmark and Burt Lancaster. I was an extra on loan from the Army. It only went uphill from there. Last Samurai, I did the Gatling guns in that movie. Was a artillery consultant briefly for Master and Commander. Was the armor for all 7 seasons for Arlie Ermy on Mail Call. I did Tales of the Gun, Tales of the Ship, early machine guns. Eddie Murphy, Robert De Niro in Showtime did that movie. Did some sound work in Flags of Our Fathers. Rambo 3, rented some guns for that movie. Just quite a few. It's all on the International Movie Database.
We'll have to take a look at that. Now, speaking of movies, you have some equipment behind us. Let's walk over and take a look at that.
Sure.
All right. It looks like right here, this is Vietnam era, right?
This is an RPG. This is a Russian RPG-7. These are all demilitarized weapons for this show here. I usually have an exact copy like this of live weapons that I have that we use in shows to have a safe way for people to handle and look at things. So educational is what I like to do.
And what do you have on this vehicle?
Well, we have a World War II version of the M2 50 caliber machine gun. We have a Russian PPSH-41 submachine gun. We have an M16 with a grenade launcher on it. We have some rockets for the RPG there. We have a M1A1 Thompson submachine gun from World War II. We have an M60 machine gun from the Vietnam era. This is one I personally carried myself for a few years. Then the dummy ammunition to go with the various weapons, 7.62, 50 caliber.
This 50 caliber, is this, if we took it out to the range, have a little fun with it?
We can do that if you'd like.
It looks like it's ready to go. Well, Gary, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that. And what a great career you have in movies. How'd you get into the movie business? Tell me real quick.
Well, I got the licenses in California to have a weapons collection to maintain for historical purposes. And the movie industry was a convenient way to keep those licenses going. It turned into a job, actually. I found that I had a niche in the market that I could fill with historical accuracy and usually unusual and odd crew-served weapons.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Gary Harper, military historian and weapons expert for the FirearmsChannel.com. I'm Max Martin. Thanks for watching.
You're watching the FirearmsChannel.com.